The views and opinions expressed on Smack My Pitch Up are those of the panelists and not that of the GUI Media Network or associated brands and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised. This podcast is rated R for violence, language, and nudity, because clothing is a prison and society will not cage me.
In a world with too many reboots and remakes,
two men will stop at nothing to make it even worse. This is Smack My Pitch Up.
Hello, geeks, and welcome to another little mini episode of Smack My Pitch Up Mashups. And here with me, as always, is Thandi.
I'm the butter for the potatoes, because they're mashups.
Wow. I would be upset if I wasn't more jealous than upset about the fact that you came up with that joke before I did. So
I'm here to make the people happy, and food makes us all happy.
And if you are listening and have listened before, then you are partial to dad jokes, because no one's going to hate dad jokes and listen to this show more than once. Let's be fair here. But for those unfamiliar with,
to be fair, we'll never tell you how old we actually are. So yeah,
just
it's okay. Just rest assured, it's okay.
It is fine. We are of the age bracket that this is acceptable. And for those unfamiliar with this version of the short episodes of Smack My Pitch Up, it is a relatively new experiment we're doing, is taking the mashup from the main episode and giving it time to really breathe a little bit more. So we're going to be mashing up the latest episode with other properties to see what might stick, what doesn't. And last episode, we talked about The Warriors. We are the Warriors. Yeah, it is I guess the grittier, not really American cousin to A Clockwork Orange. Is
a little bit. The 70s West Side Story, sure, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just picturing, and that's the first mashup that I thought of with this, is that there's this alternate world, like everything's multiverse right now in pop culture. So there's a multiverse where it's the Clockwork Orange world and the Warriors world, and they're part of the same world. It's just different cultures version of the little, like,
well, a world ruled by gangs. You could actually do that, because both of them are not quite right. Like, the gangs seem to be way more powerful entities than they actually should be. So yeah, that does kind of work.
And like significantly. And I'm used to this in action movies. I really am. Like, the number of Fast and Furious movies where I'm like, this is a whole city and you have like 3 cops is kind of ridiculous. Or all the cops show up together at the same time. There's one or the other. You have like maybe no cops or 1 cop or 300 cop cars. There's no in between.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the Warriors.
Well, the situations where you get the 300 cop cars are the movies where the cops are intentionally like, they're not good at being cops. So it just strengthen numbers.
Just the Blues Brothers of it
all.
all.
Incompetent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the cops following the car. Like, did none of the cops think to like maybe drive ahead? Like, stop them ahead of time? No? Okay, cool. We're just following them.
They're all in like the banana in your tailpipe squad. They're all just like Eddie Axel Foley's foiled all of them at the same time.
Well, I did like in Clockwork Orange where there's the moment where his former droogs are now police officers, and they're like, yeah, it's basically the same thing. And it was a nice little jab at authority, but it's also kind of true in the circumstances of that film and, well, life. But there wasn't that same conversation happening in The Warriors, but you could see that I would love to have a moment where like Alec and his droogies go on vacation to like Rockaway Beach or something, and they end up running into the Warriors or all the baseball Furies or all the different Warrior movie gangs. Would be pretty
just
funny.
Ask them immediately what neighborhood they're from because they're wearing their droog costumes.
Exactly. And
their codpiece and pajamas or whatever the fuck.
They start talking in that like fantasy Cockney or whatever they're doing from Clockwork Orange. And the other gangs from New York are like, what the fuck are you talking about? A little of the old in out and the milk bars and the... Warriors are like, I don't know what you're. I thought I spoke English, but
our gangs are 60,000 strong, and we have one gun between us. Somebody go get the gun. Somebody get the one gun.
The one
please.
gun. Yeah, I want to see that version of West Side Story. And Warriors versus Droogs, one gun story, which actually does, I guess, technically fit in West Side Story. No, they used a knife. Was it a gun? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Anyway,
I think I believe that there was. So I haven't seen West Side Story in a long time. I didn't see the new one, but when the lead murders that dude, was that a gun or did they have a knife fight?
I think.
Thought he shot.
No, I think there was a gun involved, but that's not what was used to shoot them at the in the warehouse fight scene or whatever. I think that was a knife. The gun was used later.
Gotcha.
To shoot dude that, yeah, the main dude, the Maria was like, ooh, I want to do this. I want to do this guy.
Yeah, so I do want to see West Side Story, but only because it's a Spielberg film. I don't like musicals that much, and I just otherwise I have no interest in seeing that movie.
I saw it. I do like musicals, not all, but yeah, I do have an appreciation for them. This movie, West Side Story, didn't really need to be made. It's beautiful. It's a very beautiful movie. It's choreographed incredibly well. The colors are vibrant. The choreography is incredible. Looks great. The costuming is good. Singing's fine. Like everything's good. But there's nothing about it that like needed to be made. Like the old movie's fine. You don't.
It's not breaking any new ground.
No, it just has a little bit of that cinematic Spielberg pixie dust on it. It's just beautifully shot, looks great, but it's not so much of an improvement it needed to be done.
How's Ansel Elgort? He seemed like a weird choice to me. I
had no idea that he could sing, and apparently, yeah, he can. He can sing very well. He did a great job.
I feel like that's part of your formal acting training. Not as many actors in the modern time have formal acting training, but if you get it, I feel like, being able to sing passably at least is part of it.
Because that happens all the time where you get an actor or actress that's in a movie where they have a singing part and they've been in film for 20 years and not sung. And then suddenly they come out and have to sing a part. And like, okay, cool. Rosario Dawson did that with Rent. Russell Crowe didn't do that.
Also the studio can get anybody a vocal coach.
True.
It's like getting beef nasty for your role. You're like, you're a skinny dude. The studio can hire anybody to make you, shredded. So they can definitely hire somebody to make you a passable singer.
So what was Russell Crowe's excuse in Les Miserables? Because he was terrible in that. It was bad.
His ego told him he didn't need a vocal coach.
Yeah, probably.
He's like, it'd be more gritty. It'd be more gritty if I sounded like this.
Right. And I think it was Ryan Reynolds or some likable actor that mentioned about getting ripped for a role. He's like, yeah, the trick is be rich. Like, this isn't a complicated thing. Like, have money.
It was Rob McEnany or the dude from It's Always Sunny.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's who he said. Yeah, he said, it's not complicated. You get a personal trainer that like pushes you and you like have no say in the matter and then you'll get ripped.
Yeah.
And
there's no pleasure and spend all your time dedicated to the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then ta-da. Yeah. It's not complicated. The rest of us are trying to have like a life and enjoy, I don't know, food and, worldly delights. And no.
Because we're all going to die eventually anyway. You might as well have fun on the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess.
I'm not going to be.
I guess fun is something.
Actually famous in any way, shape, or form at any point in my life. I don't think so. I might as well enjoy this cheeseburger. That's.
Yeah, well, you never know, but there's no restrictions on being famous. You can be famous and be in any shape or look like anything. So that's not the biggest concern there.
I'm in the Tenacious D Jack Black camp of lovable, chubby, bearded man vibe. That's what I'm going for.
Yeah, but when you're rich, you can get ripped at any time.
That's true. And then it'll be that like Chris Pratt moment of like, he used to be chubby and now he's not. Oh my God.
With some people going, "Oh, that's a horrible betrayal."
Yep.
Can you just wear the Fat Thor outfit or?
I love, yeah, there's a little bit of blowback for Thor losing weight, but to the credit of the movie, even from the trailer, it shows that they are actually showing him working off the weight. It's not like that magic transformation off screen thing. So that's appreciated. The only time that I can remember that the showing the working out didn't go over well was in the series Battlestar Galactica. But that's because the weight gain was like nonsense. Like it was for no reason. It was a very weird choice that they were like,
What about the modern one?
The modern one, yeah. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
I haven't seen any of it. I know that Edward James Olmos is on it, and that is all that I have for the modern Battlestar Galactica.
If you had about 200 other things to it, then you got the basic gist of the show. But yeah, no, Edward James Olmos is amazing in it. He's incredible. This doesn't spoil anything. Apollo, who's his son, just gets fat. At one point, he's like, I guess I'm going to get fat. And so his character just gets fat, and he's wearing a terrible fat suit. And then I don't know where they were planning on going with it, but I guess it just wasn't selling very well. So like the beginning of the next season.
Is it part of the narrative or just something that you're like, hey, this is what happens to people?
Kinda, but yeah, but it's more of like, you know, that he's losing focus or whatever. I don't know, that kind of thing. Like it's not really necessary at all. Like they could have portrayed that in so many other ways besides a really bad fat suit. But then it just shows him like,
did he get married and have kids or something? Or
not quite. I'm
a family space pilot now.
He was depressed because he wasn't with the one he actually wanted to be with or something, and they weren't fighting robots at the moment. So he's like, I don't know what to do with my time. I guess I'll eat sandwiches. And then he just gained a bunch of weight. And then the end of the season happens. Beginning of the next season, it starts with him being like, somebody handing him a jump rope and being like, get your shit together, man. He's like, okay. And then shows him jumping rope. And then it's like 3 months later and it's him like without the fat suit on, just like putting his jump rope, like, cool. After 3 months of jump roping, I'm back to my regular look of not being fat. It was a great choice. It was great cinema there. Wasn't confusing, bewildering at all.
So back to the mashups, because the West Side Story mashup got me thinking about something. I don't want to lose focus on that.
Sure.
Which is the Warriors, and not too far removed time-wise, the gang from the community center of Breaking and Breaking 2. So Turbo and Ozone and Kelly in the gang.
Yes.
And so New York has transitioned into breakdance fighting, and the Warriors are trying to transition into this new way of being in New York City, trying to find their footing. But then somebody kills their new leader, but not literally. They just do like a Michael Jackson spin and like a sick moonwalk, and totally destroys the leader's rep in the community. And the Warriors have to train to get good enough at breakdancing to win the day. Who trains them? Turbo and Ozone. Breaking 3, the Warriors.
That's incredible. I would watch the shit out of that. And I just want that moment where the Warriors are like so good that the opposing side, somebody starts breakdancing up the ceiling as expected. And then one of the Warriors like, oh yeah. And then they start dancing up the ceiling, and it's like a, oh no moment. Like they have like the magic kung fu moment of like, no, I've learned the 5-finger death punch as well moment. I would love that.
Yeah, I just want I believe in the beat montage. And somehow the Warriors are saving the community center again.
Cool. I'm into it.
But because it's a Warriors movie, somebody has to get stabbed at some point at maybe the end, or
somebody right before they're about to like do the robot or something, they like open their arm up to do the little swingy thing and they get stabbed in the side. Or somebody just puts a knife in their hand when they're doing the like TikTok clock arm thing, and they stab themselves in the side. It's perfect. I love it.
I believe and then you get the audible record scratch on the soundtrack as they stab themselves in the beat.
Oh, what else was I thinking? There's
one of the other mashups that we mentioned. I think we might have mentioned it on the show, or we mentioned it in the recording. It got cut out, but Batman 66.
Yes,
because of the henchmen.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the Gotham style henchmen with their cute little costumes, matching outfits, would slot nicely into the Warriors genre. So the Warriors road trip into Gotham City.
I do think that was in the final edit, but yeah, The Warriors becoming part of the Batman universe would be pretty incredible. And just,
I would love it. Maybe they go to Gotham City to try to be the hit. Like Mr. Zaz is looking for new henchmen, and the Warriors are like, oh, we could hang with Mr. Zaz. I like that. Yeah.
And they roll up at they might be a gang. It might be a street toughs, but they have like a moral center. So they're like not down with Victor Zaz. He does some stuff a little too freaky deaky. So if Victor Zaz works with
how about this? Mr. Zaz is like, you know what? I like the cut of your jib, Warriors, and I can take all of you except for Ajax, because Mr. Zaz is not down with rapists. Wow. So everybody can come. Ajax, I think I'm going to cut you up, actually. And the rest of the Warriors are like, fair enough. Fair,
yeah. Damn. So even Victor Zaz has like, dude, there's a line. Like, you what's the Guardians of the Galaxy thing? Is like, I might be an asshole, but I'm not 100% a dick. Like, that's Victor's ass being like, no, man, like, that's just not cool. I'm into that. I would love to see the Warriors as a roving gang and like anything where there's like other groups to fight, like the Avengers, or no, more the Defenders. The Defenders. Let's do street level. Fucking Iron Fist and Daredevil and Power Man and you got Jessica Jones and
Jessica
company.
Jones, yeah.
And Punisher rolling in. And the Warriors are like, no, that's not fair. He brought many guns. Like Punisher brought too many guns for we have knives. That was not part of the agreement.
I have this piece of window pane that broke when I was looking for a weapon. I have a pipe. He's got an AK-47. He's got 5 of them. Those are his little guns. Right. This is not fair.
Is that a bazooka?
Or how about the Warriors? The Warriors show up in the Avengers movie, but it's their own movie. But it's on the day that the Chitauri invaded, and it's the Warriors trying to deal with the Chitauri invasion at Coney Island.
That I make that a whole movie of just like some local street toughs that are fighting the Chitauri on the beach would be
Coney Island.
Imagine just a sequence where like they end up fighting and end up falling into like the tilt-a-whirl or something, and they're just fighting with Chitauri in the tilt-a-whirl or the fucking
or the background, the roller coaster goes by and there's like a warrior and a Chitauri standing up on the coaster, like stabbing at each other.
Marvel, you need to be listening to this show because these are clearly dumb ideas, but everyone would go see it. Everyone would go see these terrible ideas.
Well, the plus is that, yes, Marvel needs more, because their world is big enough now that they can do more stuff about what happens at the street level. Like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had some of that as far as like what's happening in the background while this other bigger stuff is going on.
Sure, yeah.
But I think that would be a lot of fun. Like something like they tried to do with, what was that TV show Damage Control? Where,
yep.
Like...
that Vanessa Hudgens.
Well, because Damage Control is actually Marvel. What's the DC version of that?
Oh,
they had a TV show for that.
Yeah, it was the DC version of it. It had Alan Tudyk and Vanessa Hudgens in it. It wasn't Damage Control.
Maybe that is Damage Control. But I thought that was Marvel. But yeah. And one of them was Bruce Wayne's cousin, but it was about what happens, in the universe outside of what specifically Batman is doing or what specifically Superman is doing. And we get to find out what happens to the Warriors while Batman and Superman are doing their thing up in the sky.
And I love that. I don't think it was called Powerless was the name of the series. Is
that what it is?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. And Collateral Damage is the name of the company. Oh, no, that's not.
Same concept, though, but yeah.
Not Collateral Damage. I'm not seeing it. Anyway, but yeah, the same concept, basically, is it was a gag, I think on both accounts. I forget which company did it first, but they were basically playing off of each other as this like cleanup crew. That was responsible for like
because it makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. I mean, costumed heroes do make a big mess, especially in the boys universe, but that's a different topic.
It's a bloody mess. It's different than the bricks falling and magically not hitting anybody.
Yeah, exactly. With the boys, I would love to see just the one panel that the Warriors would be in as just a gag of the comics where
right before their heads are exploded.
Exactly. They show up and they're in their outfits and they're like, yeah, let's rumble. And then they're just missing their heads in the next panel with blood splattering everywhere. And like A-Train standing there, just like filing his nails or something would be a treat, really.
Yeah. And that could hold true for almost anybody any member of the Warriors could just even the ocean guy could do that to the Warriors, and that would be even more fun.
The deep
Swimmy Magoo, yes.
Swimmy Magoo. What made the Warriors so interesting as a series wasn't the fact that they were good at fighting. They were better than a lot of the gangs they ended up running across, but just by happenstance.
They were better than everybody. It was ridiculous. Like those fights, I'm like, this is like what? Why are you guys so tough in this situation? It doesn't make sense for you to be tough in these situations. And also, why did you bring Tagger Dude with you on this mission? Because he's not helping. He's not helping. And also, why are there only 9 of you when these other street gangs seem to have an unlimited supply of dudes, right? And there's 9 of you.
It's like 20, 30 dudes coming after you, and you're like, yeah, we're good. We're fine.
We're the Warriors.
We're the Warriors. We like to come out and play.
We rumble. We were taught by Arthur Fonzarelli the best.
Wish that there was a the Crow moment where the Cure is playing and he's putting on his face makeup. I wish there was that moment for the baseball Furies where before they come out and put on their roller skates and get their baseball bats and are ready to rumble, that it's just them. Maybe put me in, coach, playing in the background. And as they're
no, instead of 90s music, their background music is Kiss.
Yes.
They're playing some Kiss in the background.
That's perfect. Yeah, some Kiss playing in the background. Is Black Diamond is blasting from the deep speakers as dude is just covering his face in white makeup, getting ready to be a badass gang member, as you do, looking like a baseball mime. Yeah, I want that.
I would love it. That would be a load of fun. I'm trying to think about TV mashups because as I'm remembering, I don't remember too many street gang shows or coalitions of youths from TV shows in that manner.
I'd be interested to see a crossover with Boardwalk Empire. I know that's about Jersey, but if they're trying to expand their operations to Coney,
some time traveling the Warriors.
Yeah, the Warriors where yeah, or maybe just this is decades later that the children of whoever are now in operation and are trying to move into Coney to get into the carnival game, and the Warriors don't like their turf being stepped on or something. Would be.
Actually, I'm thinking about time-specific stuff now. I'm all caught up. I'm thinking the Warriors versus Hunter. If you don't remember who Hunter was basically made for TV Dirty Harry. So Fred Dryer was Hunter, who's an ex-football player. They were like, oh, we want a Dirty Harry style TV show. So they got Fred Dryer to play Hunter, who is basically Dirty Harry. He carries a big-ass gun. He kills people sometimes, as TV cops in the 80s did. But, the Warriors versus Hunter. The Warriors versus all of the street vigilantes of the 80s. So the Warriors versus Knight Rider.
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors versus Street Hawk, which is Knight Rider on a motorcycle. The Warriors versus Blue Thunder, which is Knight Rider in a helicopter.
Yep.
And Airwolf, Knight Rider in a helicopter.
Got to do A-Team as well.
And A-Team! That's a team, yes.
A-Team would be fucking perfect.
Except the Warriors call the A-Team in for help.
Well, that's what the switcheroo is that they come in and they think that they're actually going to be fighting the Warriors, but then they find out that they're on the same side and they work together to take out the real guy who's like a fucking oil baron or some shit that is
I can't wait to see the mousetrap montage at the end where the Warriors are helping the A-Team put together their goofy little trap to get the oil baron's henchmen.
You just
could be awesome.
Need one moment where one of the Warriors is playing with 3 glass bottles on his fingers and he's clanking them together, just not helping. And then one of the A-Team just comes over and just snatches them off his fingers, dude, and then uses them as, I don't know, glass bullets or something. I don't know. And
and then as B.A. Baracus walks away, the Warrior does that petulant arm cross and look at the side, look at him. Oh, ain't I a stinker?
I just want that moment at the end when they win is that they look at each other arms crossed, but then they give that knowing nod, okay, you passed muster, you guys are chill at the very end of it.
Man, whatever happened to terrible montages? Terrible, goofy ass montages.
They are
just stuff getting done so we could get to the end.
They went out of style, and the montages are some of the best moments in certain generational television, for sure.
You know what the last great montage was? It was the building of the time machine, the wrist time machines in Endgame. Remember when Hulk gave like Ant-Man like tacos and
Oh,
they were
right.
just doing stuff.
No, the tacos.
It's a fun montage.
The tacos were push up my glasses. The tacos were when Hulk was going on to the Milano to go to a new.
Oh, they were going to go get Thor.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There was another montage recently that
it's probably in like Fast and the Furious 10 or something. Let's build this rocket car.
Right. Let's get this Fiat into space.
You see everybody's like doing stuff to help except for Tyrese. There's montage music in the background. You can't hear him talking shit, but he's just talking shit the whole time.
See, I don't even want to talk shit on Tyrese in those movies because, like, I want his gig. I want to be the guy that just bitches about everything and doesn't do anything and is ineffective throughout all the movies. Doesn't do anything to help, but somehow just keeps getting invited to these little like crimes. Like, let's bring the guy that doesn't do anything and just talk shit the whole time. Yeah, we got to have him too. It's great.
Well, we feel bad for Tyrese. Just he can come. He can come.
It's no fun unless there's somebody bitching, so might as well.
Because somehow that's supposed to be entertaining, I guess, or whatever.
In the meantime, you've got Ludacris, who's like a street racer turned like math professor,
like Reed Richards.
Yeah,
they turned him into Reed Richards.
Right.
Like kung fu expert Reed Richards.
I want to see the Warriors in the Fast and Furious movies just to see what their cars would look like. Because part of me thinks it'd be like post-apocalyptic looking, but other parts of me thinks it's going to be closer to the car in Condorman, where it's just going to have fringe everywhere and like orange and brown colors.
There was a car in Condorman?
Yeah, he had a Condor car.
Wow.
If I remember correctly, it looked like it was like a truck, like a big like delivery truck. But no, my friend. There was a hidden like fucking Porsche or something that had like condor wing feathers all over it.
Was it like the Dumb and Dumber dog truck or?
Kind of, but like a Ferrari and feathers. A super underrated Disney classic there, Condorman.
So I have never seen Condorman all the way through, but it was something that would play on like Saturday afternoon TV from time to time. So I've seen clips from it. I never knew if it was something I should try to catch or not. The premise kind of strained even my youthful credulity.
I'd say that it's worth your time if you say have a couple friends and maybe a couple beverages or other inebriates available to you. Then it might be a fun time to sit through and enjoy. That's definitely like a beautiful disasters type of vibe there, but it's not something that you watch.
So if I have the time, would I choose Condorman or would I want to watch back episodes of Mighty Isis?
Oof. I think actually the choice is Cleopatra 2020. If you are familiar at all.
Yeah, Cleopatra 2020, I think, is from my time, though. I believe that's a show from like my time of watching television.
Yes.
As opposed to like before. So
that was before.
It was like before 90s, right?
Yeah, that was like late 90s. That was before Gina Torres joined the Firefly crew. She was on Cleopatra 2020, and that's a nice upgrade for her. I think very much. That show sucked, but
and then you get to be in the Matrix. So yeah,
it's
fair like enough. A nice.
Well, I mean, when you're married to Morpheus, he can make that shit happen. So, I think
he makes stuff happen.
He does. We are at the tail end of our episode here, so we did not. I don't know. We laid some golden eggs here for Disney. I think for some. Mashups.
I feel like we did. I feel like we did some pretty awesome mashups for. If you go back and listen to the episode, kids, we had some not really trouble with the Warriors because it ended up being a really decent episode, but it was a lot of work.
It was
to get there.
A lot of consideration went into that one, but I think what's worse is that as much work as the main episode was. Your idea of incorporating Breakin' and Breakin' 2 into the Warriors is like clearly the best choice out of everything that we've discussed regarding the Warriors. And the fact that it was just an aside makes everything else feel like sad and weak.
That's where the best stuff comes from. That's where serendipity comes from.
Yeah, I want to see that Breakdancing Warriors movie. But If you have some ideas on what you want to see mashed up with the Warriors, we want to hear it. We want to hear what we missed that you think would be a good combo platter here. Also, if you want to give us suggestions for future episodes of Smack My Pitch Up, we're always interested in hearing what you want to see destroyed by our terrible, demented brains. And make sure to rate, review, subscribe, all those things you do to podcasts. Make sure you do them for us on Apple or Stitcher, wherever you get your shows. And make sure to tell your friends.
Favorite places.
Yeah. And share that information with your friends on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those things. Follow us on Twitter, on Facebook. Maybe we'll get an Instagram when I have the energy to add another social media application to my laundry list that I have currently. I swear I have more.
Yeah, as always, hit us up on the Twitter page and talk to us, talk at us.
Yeah.
We like to engage.
We do. We want to talk to you. We want to hear what you have to say, even if it's terrible. I will tell you you're wrong, but we want to hear it. So until next time, thank you so much, Thandi, for your incredible choices for this mashup here.
It's my pleasure.
And we'll find you next time for another episode of Smack My Pitch Up. I'm Mike the Hobbit.
And I'm Thandi.
You mashed the...
We believe in the beat. We believe in the way we feel.
GUIPodcast.com.
A little the old in out and the milk bars and the... Mike the Hobbit here.
Lowdown Brown.
Inviting you to check out Geek Some of the Influence, a podcast that pairs booze with conversation with good friends.
And a little nerd culture.
We get a lot of colorful conversation out of our episodes, but it is here for everyone. No gatekeeping.
Always level up everything we do.
We'll punch up, never punch down.
Exactly.
So check out Geeks Under the Influence everywhere you get your podcasts and join us or die.
Shut the fuck up, Hobbit. Welcome to GUI Nights.
GUI Nights.
Yeah, I am Lowdown Brown. With me as always,
Mike the Hobbit.
This is the tangential side of GUI.
This is like so many of those other shows that has the after the show bit mixed with a little bit of Baywatch Nights, so it's a little sexier. It's a little bit after hours.
Also while tying it into the previous episode of GUI. So look forward to that too, because this comes out the week after the flagship hour-long episode.
So make sure to check out GUI Nights, and when you're done, you can
go the fuck home.
My name is Amy Bogard.
And I'm Mike the Hobbit.
And we are the hosts of Deeply Upsetting, where we use our expertise to answer your most upsetting hypothetical quandaries, such as, what non-winged animal deserves wings?
And what body part deserves a secret mouth?
Which cryptid is the worst roommate?
These questions and more that plague you will be answered on Deeply Upsetting, available anywhere you get your podcasts and at GUIPodcast.com.
Hey guys, Scotty P here with Smash on your left. And we are the Geek Fathers. That's right, bringing all the trials and tribulations of being a geeky parent.
So welcome to our world.
And as always, join us
or cry.
Coming straight from the mouths of madness, I'm Lowdown.
I'm FU Hunter.
Do you love horror?
We fucking do.
So this is a podcast dedicated to all things in cinematic horror. We're talking movies, television, composers, special effects artists. We're gonna fucking cover it.
So if you love horror,
embrace the madness.
In a world of blockbuster movies, there's another dimension.
The dimension of schlock cinema. Join us at Beautiful Disasters on a journey into the fringe territory of B-movie abandon.
We review the flicks that are forgotten or underappreciated to give them a proper place in the annals of celluloid history.
I'm the Groots.
FU Hunter.
Your guides at Beautiful Disasters. Come along with us for a fun ride. May the schlock be with you.